Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love Island UK, Season 11, Episode 41.
Listen here, a lot of people do not like, or did not like, rather, what we said about Mimi last episode. And we just review it. I don't make things up. Blair don't make things up. We just review what we saw.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's what we saw.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to see a little bit more of it this episode, too. You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
So Joey and Josh are having their conversation.
Yeah.
Joey says that I basically would have wanted to know. And the situation, basically, it just wasn't for me to tell.
Okay.
Josh says, well, everything is out in the open now. We're good. Josh calls Mimi over.
Okay.
He fills her in on the conversation with Joey, and he was trying to ask her, so he said it was a private thing, like, why was it a private thing? And Mimi said that she just wanted to deal with her issue with Ayo in private because that's how she goes about handling situations.
Really?
Josh says, well, why didn't it go to plan? Like, what does that mean? And she says, well, I mean, I don't really know. Like, he ended up talking to Jess and we just talked on the daybed. Mimi said that she's not going to argue with him because that's not what she does. Josh says, well, only you and Joey know the conversations y'all had. If things aren't aligning and I look like a joke, like, I'm not going to appreciate that because Josh doesn't want to look crazy, especially with him being transparent.
What are your thoughts about that scene?
Y'all, Mimi lied again. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I like the girl, but she's lying. Or maybe, do you guys not consider, what is it calling?
I think it's called omitting information.
Omitting the truth or omitting information. Do y'all not consider that a lie? I do. So for her to say like, oh, he was talking to Jess and we just had a conversation. No, he said no. So you had to come downstairs. I don't know how else to put that.
I mean, I went to the dictionary.
I really don't.
And I had to look up the word lie because I'm like, I didn't think I was calling her names. I thought I was just, representing what I saw. And a lie is a misrepresentation of the facts. And that's what Mimi is doing. She's misrepresenting the scene that she tried to play out.
Yeah.
She was the one that was crawling on the ground. She was the one that was basically telling Joey, shh. She was the one that pinky squared with Joey and things like that. If it was so private, right, you wouldn't have included Joey into it.
That's what I'm saying. But there was clearly some sneaking around. You roped somebody else into it. If you really just wanted something quiet, private, you know how she can like nod her head from across the room and Ayo realizes what she's talking about?
Yeah.
She could have done one of those.
And then doing all of that, to still have the conversation on the daybed.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about it. We are not arguing or debating or even having a discussion about what she was going to talk about. We do not know what she was going to talk about. But obviously, whatever she was going to talk about, did it have to happen on the terrace? No, it did not have to happen because it didn't happen on the terrace, right? The whole point of, even then, if y'all go back to that previous conversation where she says, I'm going to talk to Ayo to clear things up. And Josh said, for what? How many conversations y'all going to have to clear up? Guess what? What's that boy name? Ayo had to say it for the fourth time. I don't want to be with you. So
because she misrepresented her conversation that she had with Ayo to Jess at the party when she said we still don't really know what we want to do. When Ayo had already made it clear at that point, as clear as he could, that he was picking Jess.
So when I misrepresent the facts, I'm lying. Especially if I'm doing it purposely. That makes me a liar. You get what I'm saying? So even as Blair said, omitting information, you omitting information because you want to misrepresent the totality of the intention of what you was trying to do. If it was that private, y'all have bedrooms, y'all have bathrooms, y'all have vanity rooms, y'all have all those things. But you being on your knees, crawling so no one on the outside can see you, it's not because you're a private person.
And the terrace is a statement.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like across the board, like, people can acknowledge the terrace is a statement.
Stop playing with us. Okay. Mimi, stop it.
And okay, so moving on, Jesse and Joey, they didn't feel like they were outed that bad during the game. Jesse wasn't surprised that they were picked for a lot of the challenge answers.
Yeah.
And she tries to have a heart-to-heart with Joey and tells him, look, I understand your opinion. You are opinionated.
Yeah.
But she doesn't think that Joey needs to bring up his opinions about Grace not being interested in any of the other guys. And Joey, his response to that is, well, you agree, don't you? She's not going to go for any of these guys.
Yeah.
So
Joey and Jesse, I think Jesse don't understand that she's playing a different game than what Joey's playing.
Yeah.
And Jesse, you may be winning in your head by saying, I'm gonna talk to Joey and basically I'm gonna tame him. And Joey's like, I'm here just to stir the pot.
Exactly.
I am the spoon of this season, and my job is just to stir the pot to bring some seasoning out. That's all I'm doing.
Right.
You know.
Grace and Ruben have a chat.
Yeah.
So Ruben tried to hug Grace before they had their conversation, and Grace was like, back up off me. I'm upset with you. Let's talk.
Okay.
So she was pissed off by Ruben's comment in the game talking about how they're standing there like lampposts.
Yeah.
And she says, you know, you wouldn't like it if I was all over him, and you rubbing up Lola's side during the game. Like, I felt like that was disrespectful towards me.
Yeah.
Ruben, he just goes in and apologizes. He feels like he was maybe just being kind of like a little boy, just having too much fun with the game. And they end up hugging and squashing the situation.
I don't see it for them too.
I don't either.
Even though they trying to make us care about Ruben and Grace, I feel like they trying to make us care about Grace. And I'm like, Grace is not a main character to me.
Right.
She cool and everything. I have no problem with her. I like her over Nicole. But I have no intentions of like really learning about the Grace and Ruben story.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
So Jess, this is while they're getting ready for bedtime.
Yeah.
So she's talking to Mimi saying, so there was no secret mission. And Mimi says, I just asked him to grab Io for me.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's a misrepresentation.
Yeah,
it wasn't just I asked him to grab Io for me. It's be discreet. Quietly get Io to come up to the terrace. Don't let anybody see you. It was more than just, I asked him. Because if you were just asking him to grab Io, you could ask anybody to grab Io. Honestly, you could have grabbed Io.
Exactly. Which you actually did near the end.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense.
Yeah. So it's the next day. Harry says that he and Grace are taking things slow, just talking to some of the guys. And she was annoyed about Ruben's comments.
Yeah.
Joss asks, what did he think about Joey's comments? And he said that Joey has this big ego and he always has a lot to say. Josh says that he and Joey have agreed to disagree. They're just going to put whatever situation happened behind their backs.
Yeah, there's nothing to agree or to disagree about, Josh. You just don't have enough information to really objectively get upset about anything. You're really just upset because you don't know. And there's no point of getting upset over something you don't know or can't prove. Right. You might as well just drop it. You know what I'm saying? Because truth be told, Joey don't even know.
Yeah.
So it's not even something that Joey is really keeping from you. The only thing that he kept from you is the thing that he basically exposed about that I was told secretly that go get Io and don't let nobody know. I think everybody's getting caught up on this word secret mission, but really it's just he just basically said I was told in secret to get Io and tell him to tell him to come up to the terrace. That's all it was. That is something that is secretive that Mimi didn't want nobody to know. Yeah. So it is what it is.
Grace says that she squashed the issue with Ruben, and Mimi said that she cleared up her issues. She had all the conversations she needed to have.
Okay.
Jess is a little bit annoyed because Io didn't make her tea and everybody else got tea today. And she joked around just basically, tell me you want to be in a couple with somebody else then. Io says that she has never not had tea since she has been here, except for today. I don't know what's so special about today.
Yeah.
So Josh gets a text. It's time for him and Mimi to go on a date.
Now here's my thing. Io, I don't like Io being passive aggressive, not making her tea. Why didn't you make her tea today then?
You felt like it was a statement?
Yes.
For what?
I don't know why Io didn't make her tea. Like I don't know what Io's statement is. I don't know what Io's thinking.
Oh, okay.
Why would Io not make her tea? Out of every day that he make her tea, why would he not make her tea?
I just thought he didn't feel like it.
But even that is a statement.
Okay.
Like if I do something for you every day, right, and you expect it every day, and not only do I do it, I'm surrounded by guys who are doing it for their girl as well.
That's true.
We all in the kitchen, and I don't make it for you today, knowing that we have problems, knowing that we have communication issues, knowing that we kind of in a stop and go type of relationship to where it's not as smooth as it is, and I don't make tea for you today while I'm in the vanity room getting ready while everybody else get their tea. That's not a statement.
I get where you're coming from, but honestly, I don't give Io that much credence to forethought. I really don't.
See,
but I know you don't underestimate anybody.
No,
but I underestimate Io.
and that's the problem, and that's why a lot of y'all get y'all head knocked off because y'all underestimate these people. Y'all think because Io is like slow with the words and things like that he's not intentional in anything. He's intentional. Even when he don't do things, that's intentional. Him not being closed up with Mimi, that's intentional. Him not being clear in his conversations with Jessica, that's intentional. So she can never hold him or box him into his word. I did not say that. Why are you holding me to that if you're hearing it from other people? That's intentional. Mimi going around being nice and everybody's basically speaking on her character and things like that, that's intentional. So she can always rely on, do I sound like the type of person to do that? That's what people do.
Yeah.
You can't underestimate people.
Yeah. Well, Joey and Jesse have another talk. Jesse doesn't like how Joey retaliates to things.
Okay.
She tries to explain to him that if you have a good point, you need to say it respectfully so that people listen. And Joey says, okay, but people listen to me anyway.
Listen, Jesse, I think you're playing a different game, sweetheart.
She thinks like she's like trying to help Joey to like be mature or to be like a better person. And I'm like, Joey, I feel like Joey knows how to operate in the real world. This is a game. This is not real life to him.
Yeah. And Jesse, when this show is over, Joey's going to go back to being Joey Essex. You're going to go back to being Jesse. I don't know your last name.
He's already a TV personality, so it's like he knows what he's doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Josh and Mimi go to a market. Yeah. They're checking out teddy bears, and Mimi makes a comment, oh, maybe we can get one of these for our firstborn.
They did. I like it.
So Josh and Mimi go to sit down for a date. Josh said that he can't wait to meet her family and friends. She agrees. She asks him, how does he feel about us? And he says that he's been patient. He's happy where they're at right now.
Nice.
Josh says that no one can come in and turn his head, and he brought up being closed off, and they both agree. Then they stand up and kiss.
Now, here's the thing about this date. They brought the little stuffed animal. I think the name is Jomi, is a combination of their names. And while she's on the date, I do get the feeling that Josh may be too much of her. Josh may be too fast for her.
Yeah.
And when I say too fast, I don't mean like, you know, of course, asking to meet the family and things like that, that could seem kind of weird, especially since y'all just met.
Right.
But I think when you come out of a immature relationship and enter right into a very mature one, like
you don't know how to handle
it. Like Josh, like I think she's trying to get a bearings.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because Josh is the type of person to where, if I gotta say something, I'm gonna say it now.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna come look for you. You get what I'm saying? As soon as he got done talking to Joey, he went and go find Mimi.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
He's like, and I need you to speak up.
Yes.
I need you to fully say your point.
So him being intentional with Mimi is everything that we want for Mimi. And I think it's things that Mimi wants for herself as well. I'm not saying that she doesn't. But I think when you're so used to an immature relationship, this can seem like, whoa. That's why at one point she was like, slow down.
Yeah.
When she was talking to her girlfriends and things like that, like it just seems like a little bit too much. No, this is the actual speed of mature relationships. I know what I want. I came in for you.
Yeah.
Do you want me?
I mean, it's like one thing where he like put all his focus on her. I know he made comments about Grace, but his focus was on me.
Yeah.
And then he did things to try to cheer her up and to, you know, basically like pour her with like affection and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, I know how some people like to take it as, oh, he's love bombing her and all this type of stuff. I just feel like he's showing effort.
Yeah.
And I feel like Io has not shown any effort at all.
And yeah,
and I
you're
think
right.
that when you compare the two, it can look like love bombing.
Exactly.
But I think, one, we're on Love Island. We got to consider the context, y'all. Like, people, especially bombshells who come in late, they have to make an impact. And I feel like Josh was making his impact, and he was also showing, these are my intentions, and I'm going to show you that so you know it. And so there was no question about it. With Io and Mimi, there was a lot of questions hanging in the air. There was not talking about being closed off. It was just very just with the wind. You know what I'm saying? But Josh, just by who he is and when he came into the show, he could not operate that way.
No.
So,
and just you hit the nail on the head perfectly. When you're with someone that shows no effort, when you with someone in total contrast with totally opposite of what the other person was, it does look like love bombing. You're right.
So back at the villa, Jess and Io talk.
Yeah.
Io said that he doesn't want to go back and forth about things.
Yeah.
Jess says that she's human and that she's tired of things happening one thing after another.
Yeah.
So Mimi and Josh arrive back at the villa. So Josh is with all the guys and he tells them about the date.
Yeah.
Mimi does the same with the girls. Josh tells the guys that him and Mimi are exclusive and closed off.
Nice.
Mimi tells the girls the same. This is an example of Mimi being honest. She says that she thought that it was never going to happen happen. Being closed off with somebody, being with Ayo, it never would have happened.
No, not never would have. It never didn't. It
never did.
It never happened.
Yeah.
Right. So look at the two conversations that just happened just now. Go back to the Ayo and Jess conversation. They are having a conversation about, she's basically like, I don't want to go back and forth about this situation no more, you know, and she's just like, I'm tired of it. Like, I'm human. Like, it's one thing after another with you and things of that nature. And he's like, I get it. I understand. Mind you, he's not clearing nothing up. He just basically saying, like, let's dead it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mimi and Josh comes back and he begins to tell the guys about the date, and he's like, we're closed off and we're exclusive. Things that happen within, let's say, a week, maybe 2. I give him 2.
Yeah, but we're progressing.
Exactly.
We're making movement. Yeah.
And the whole point about that is, if you looked at Ayo during that scene, he was clapping, but I don't think he was happy for me. You get what I'm saying? And then you have Mimi on the other side of the villa saying, I didn't think it was going to happen for me. And that's craziness, because Ayo, you had day one.
Right. And plus, Ayo been with Jess longer, but for some reason, like, he's just not making that step or that effort. And to me, he just didn't make any effort today with the tea either. So
my whole point is, Josh comes in, closed it off with Mimi, brought up the conversation, right, and said, you know, how do you feel about being closed off? And she's like, really? He's like, yeah, like, let's be exclusive. They're closed off, right? Not only is Josh and Mimi closed off, Ayo and Jess is still not closed off. At this point of the show.
Right.
Now, we know nobody's coming. I hope nobody's coming, right?
Yeah.
But it just shows that one person is intentional and one person is not. And we can't judge the person that is intentional as, oh, he may have some secret motive behind his actions because he's actually making movement. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Nicole gets a text that there is going to be a party in the villa tonight.
Yeah.
So everyone is getting ready. As nighttime comes, Sean pulls Ayo for a chat.
Yeah.
Sean tells Ayo that we started this journey together and he felt the tension growing between them.
Okay.
He says that he's not going to bring up the situation with Mimi anymore. Like, he's rooting for Ayo and Jess, and Mimi has her own thing going on. Ayo says that it's just that when Jess gets upset, it bothers him, and he just wants Jess to be happy.
Why does it bother you? Because it forces you to talk, it forces you to explain. like Ayo, like you have to understand something. These people are the way they are on purpose. Ayo have a whole conversation with Jess later on in the show, to where he literally said nothing.
Yeah.
But there was words coming out of his mouth, but there was no intention behind it. And then even when he wanted to get a point across, he said what you said. I'm like, that's intentional. That's not by mistake. Right. He's not playing stupid. You get what I'm saying? He got to have a job. You get what I'm saying? So he makes a living. So
I think he models, so he don't have to talk much.
Listen, you have to talk to say something. You have to say, my name is Ayo so-and-so.
Okay.
So my thing is, he's not stupid. He's not senile. So all these things he's doing on purpose. Okay. You get what I'm saying?
So Ayo and Jess talk.
Yeah.
Ayo understands how Sean is. He's known Sean since he's been here. He's grown a lot, shown a lot of himself. He's just Sean, you know? That's exactly what he says. He's Sean.
Exactly.
He says that sometimes he thinks he wants to say something to Jess, and Jess mouths like, I love you. And he asks, and he's just like, huh? And she's like, what did you want to say? And he said, what did you mouth? And she said it again. And then he was just like, yeah, like that. That would give me the ick. I'm sorry. Tell me what you want to say. I'm sorry.
He did. He said, you said it.
And I know y'all probably think like we're being hard, or I'm being hard on Ayo, or whatever the case may be, but he's like, the way that he's giving Jess a headache, he's giving me a headache. I'm just like, he's just not the best communicator, which he knows, but it is irritating to watch. So Ayo gets a text, everyone must gather around the fire pit. This is the final recoupling. And I was thinking to myself, why?
Yeah, man.
And I knew the reason why after I thought about it for a second. Ruben and Grace.
So basically, we ain't even gotta go through the names. Ruben got Grace back.
Yes.
That's basically
and the bombshells are paired together. Everybody is stuck with the same person.
And this is what I don't understand with Love Island UK this season. Why y'all playing musical chairs this late in the season? Get rid of some folks.
Yeah.
Like, really, y'all have to get, like, it's not that we don't want to see these people. It's just I don't see the point of Grace and Ruben being together. What's this? Because every season, let me tell y'all something about TV. every season there's a story that the producers want to get out. So when I see that this whole scene was made for Ruben and Grace to be back together, the question that goes through my mind is, okay, what's the story you're trying to tell us about Grace and Ruben?
Okay.
To the point that they have to be together. Do you get what I'm saying?
You don't think it's worth the story, pretty much.
I don't think there is a story.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if y'all trying to give us a story, it's a story that's not worth telling because number one, Ruben haven't been here long enough for us to be invested in him.
True.
Right? Grace haven't been coupled up with someone long enough to be invested with. I understand if this was a situation to where, let's say, Ayo and Mimi wanted to get back together and this is their last chance to be together.
Yeah.
But they chose the people that they're with already. So I'm like, y'all made this scene basically in TV to tell the story of Grace and Ruben. Why?
Yeah.
Like what is so significant about their pairing that we have to do the last recoupling just for them to get back together?
True.
I don't know.
So Ruben and Grace chat. He's hugging and kissing all over her, and they are both just happy to be together.
Okay.
Grace didn't see it for Harry romantically at all.
I mean, the truth, as Joey said it.
Right.
Ruben said it.
Yeah.
Grace just mad that y'all said it. That's all.
So Lola and Harry are talking, and Lola's telling Harry that, honestly, for me, it's not that bad. If out of all the guys, you're probably the most my type here, but it probably does suck for you. And Harry says, like, well, it's not like I really have feelings for the girl. It was only 3 days, and it is what it is. So Harry's just kind of in a funk. Lola goes back to grab a drink, and she's talking to the other Islanders, and she's like, he's just being weird. And some of them are just saying that his ego is just bruised. Like, you got to give him a little minute.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I think that he didn't expect somebody to get stolen away from him and to be happy about it. So it's bedtime. Kieran thinks that it was special, that it was the last time he said Nicole's name for a coupling.
Yeah.
Especially the fact that they've said each other's names for every recoupling. So that's where we end.
What do you think about this episode?
I'm interested to see some people leave. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
I want to see some dynamics change in the. I don't think dynamics will change that much because I feel like everybody's kind of booed up.
Yeah.
And the girls, I don't feel like they have that close of a relationship neither with the guys. Like, everybody's cool, but I think it would just be interesting to see some of the, like, cut some of the fat so we can focus and hone in on some of these couples that we think might go the distance.
And you said it perfectly because I think there's too much fluff for me to see a clear winner here.
Right.
I think y'all want us to see Nicole and Karen, but I'm telling you, we do not care about them.
Right.
Right. And when and I speak for the UK.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? We do not care about them. Mimi is in the running to win the game, in my opinion. And as she should. I'm a fan of Mimi. That's why I hold her accountable. Right. So I think Mimi may be in trouble a little bit come this Sunday. When they start showing some things, the last thing we go see with the awards and things, whatever they go show, I think it's called the Grafties or like whatever it's called.
Okay.
To where we may see that scene where she talked to Joey and how Josh is going to handle that. I just want to see how she's going to handle that. I think that's going to be the last stumbling block that she may have to get over for her to be with Josh. But in my opinion, while watching that date with Josh, I feel like she wants to like him. I feel like she really is trying to like him to the level that he likes her, but the heart wants what it wants.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's only been a couple weeks. And that's another thing I want to say. Like, I understand the timeline is short and people don't get over certain feelings quickly. So that's the reality of the situation. But I'm talking about a show, okay? I'm talking about a game show. And if we want to win the money, because there's money at the end of the pot,
exactly,
we got to get to moving, okay? Yeah. And I want her to win. So Mimi, come on. Let's move.
Just stop lying. Stop lying on national television. That's it.
That is all.
Y'all be good.
Bye.